They just got married. We were at Habitat. Brad was working with our team. He said, y'all were thinking about getting married. Ready? Oh, we never did ring the bell. Do you want me to go ring the bell?
It's out there. I will ring it here. I don't know. Maybe somebody will.
Good morning.
They do first.
Let's listen to Paula. And Jorge. Morning has broken. Yes, thank you. Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Clemson. We are located on the land of the Eastern Cherokee and Southern Iroquois. It is good to be with you. My name is Crain. I am today's worship associate. I'm also a religious education teacher and a part of the social action team. And so proud to be here with you today. Whoever you are, wherever you are on your life journey, you are welcome here. Whomever you love, wherever you were born, whatever language you speak, you are welcome here. We are so glad that you chose our fellowship as your place of worship this morning. If you're joining us for the first time this morning, welcome. And if you are a visitor and would like to stand and tell us who you are welcome to do so. Want to introduce yourselves? Thank you for being with us. After the service, we gather for coffee and social connection in the social room, which is down the hall and to the left. Please join us. If you are interested in getting our weekly newsletter so you can get connected to our community, our weekly sharing of joys and concerns, and our collective efforts to support local social justice work, please reach out to the office by email on our website. I'd like to share some announcements with you. You've got your order of service. I like to pay attention to what's on the top here. It talks about who our volunteer team members are today, and we are so grateful to the people who help make Sunday mornings happen. There is one correction, however, in the left column, third one down, that said safety responder. Modi was not able to come today, and so at the very last minute, Carl is the guy wearing the yellow vest out there. He is our safety responder. This is a task that we have a hard time filling. If you are interested in learning more about serving as our safety responder once every couple of months, please let me know and I'll tell you more about it. We are still looking for delegates to represent this congregation at the UU General Assembly in June. Our fellowship for its size are allotted 3 delegates. If you are a member and interested or would like to learn more, reach out to Reverend Holly or Leslie, our board president. Also like to point out that in the social room this morning, you'll see a table over to the right side. Those are full of postcards and some legislative issues. If you are so moved, you are welcome to bring your cup of coffee, sit down at that table and write a card to one of our state legislators. I'll be happy to post them for you. I've got stamps. There's a hula hike on Thursday, April 10th. Talk to Sarah for information about that. Sarah, it's just perfect timing for the wildflowers. Perfect timing. Then on Saturday, there's a work party here. Clean up the grounds day and continue making UUFC beautiful. Talk to Meg if you'd like to be a part of that. And then, of course, we're all getting ready for the spring auction. Please mark your calendars for Saturday, April 26th to be here for the auction. It will be great. And you can see the other events. We've got a lot going on here. What time is the auction? It doesn't say right here. We believe it starts at 5 o'clock. Yeah. But it says in the weekly newsletter that comes to us every Thursday. Reverend Holly.
I would like to also extend you a warm welcome. I have to say, a few minutes before service started, I had that moment of going, we don't have very many people here today. And thankfully, some more of you came in right as service was getting started, which is always so wonderful to see. And I would like to introduce myself for anybody that has not met me. I am the Reverend Holly Brown. My pronouns are they, them, and I'm the settled minister here at UUFC. Our opening words come from Christina Rivera, who is one of the ministers for the Church of the Larger Fellowship, and she offered these words in one of their weekly newsletters earlier this week. So for anybody that gets that, it might sound familiar. Joy is not a luxury. It's a practice. In a world heavy with pain and injustice, joy is a flash of resistance, a holy spark that keeps us tethered to hope. It shows up in small things, laughter shared with a beloved, a moment of ease, the rhythm of your favorite hymn. Joy doesn't mean forgetting what's broken. It means remembering what is beautiful. It reminds us that we are alive, connected, and capable of delight even as we fight for liberation. So find your joy. Let it nourish your soul, and then share it, because joy multiplies in community. And in the spirit of worship, I invite you to rise in body, mind, or spirit, wherever you are, to join in singing number 159 in the gray hymnal and also on the slides. This is my song.
This is my song, oh God.
I'd like to invite my friend Chin Fu to help us light the chalice this morning. Let's read together the fellowship's affirmations. It's good to go. You just touch it here. Yeah. We're ready now. We gather together in a spirit of love with justice as our guide. This is our chosen covenant to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth with freedom, and to care for one another. Ms. Karen.
This morning's story is a little bit of a call and response. So throughout it, I'm going to be asking some questions. And if it's a question that you would reply in the affirmative to, you can yell out yes, you can raise your hand, you can clap, you can yell, you can stomp, whatever you want to do to agree. Okay? This morning's story is We Are the Builders, written by Deepa Iyer, illustrated by Ramy Galata. Welcome to our community day. Ready to find your role to play? Yes. My name is Ramla. I'm your guide. Follow me and stay by my side. So many grown-ups and kids are here. Everyone wants to volunteer. There's plenty to do in our town. Help new friends, plant trees in the ground. The time is now. Let's all play a part. Listen and learn. What moves your heart? We are the builders. We form and forge, construct and fix, improve homes with nails and bricks. See these old desks, tables, and chairs? Good as new with some repairs. Who wants to join the builders? We are the caregivers. We comfort, console, soothe, and cheer. Care kits for all, near and dear. Acts of service and words that mend. How can I help, my new friend? Who wants to join the caregivers? We are the frontline responders. We plan and protect, stay prepared. Storms brewing, especially today, but don't be scared. Stock cans of soup, bags of fresh fruits, gather warm coats, gloves, and boots. Who wants to join the frontline responders? Yes. We are the disruptors. We declare, demand, demonstrate, call for change, don't hesitate. Raise our voices, banners and beats, meet and march out in the streets. Who wants to join the disruptors? We are the experimenters. We scan, invent, and improvise, solve hard problems with fresh eyes. What if these used bottles and rags could become backpacks and bags? Who wants to join the experimenters? We are the visionaries. We dream, imagine, and inspire a world we can all admire. Fresh air, clean water, safe and free, bright futures, that's what we see. Who wants to join the visionaries? Yeah. We are the weavers. We stitch, we braid, we intertwine. Common threads link hearts and minds. When people fight or disagree, find what connects you and me. Who wants to join the weavers? We are the healers. We renew, restore, and relieve. Tend to those who cry and grieve. Sometimes when the world is too much, we nurture with breath and touch. Who wants to join the healers? Yeah. We are the storytellers. We sing, we dance, we create art. Bring joy and love, heart to heart. Vibrant murals preserve our past, histories cherished at last. Who wants to join the storytellers? Of the different roles to play, which one feels like you today? You could become a guide like me, show new folks what they can be. We mentor, we advise, we steer, share wisdom, honest and clear. Now that's clear what each can do, we want to hear from all of you. What role would you choose? Who would you be? How will you change your community?
Thank you, Karen. That fits with what a lot of us were doing yesterday at the rallies. One of my favorite chants, tell me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. It made me think of that in the story. Now is the time we set aside for the offering in order to give toward the financial vitality of this community. Also, 25% of the undesignated collection each week goes to an organization in the local community with whom we partner. For the month of April, we are partnering with, as we cheered, Habitat for Humanity. Each week, we also collect non-perishable foods for Clemson Community Care's food bank. Those of you online, you may also give by going to the UUFC website and using the donate button. There you will see options for paying your pledge and donating toward the organizations we partner with. Thank you for your generosity.
Thank you. Each week, we take some time to share our joys and concerns with one another. It's a time of sacred sharing, reminding us of our connections and that we are not alone. I've asked Kathy to place a stone in this bowl representing our shared community. I have one on behalf of Ellen Few. She says she has pneumonia and has been on oxygen, is having a hard time. Please send your healing energy and good wishes. And have a joy on behalf of Martha Alexander, who's watching from home. Hi, Martha. She shared that she and Jim will have been married 62 years as of today. Yes. And tomorrow is their son Andy's birthday. He will be 60. He was born in the Georgia's hospital in the Panama Canal Zone. Well, yes.
One for love, one for
Maybe, yes, yes. And then have a joy from Deborah Seegers about happy to see you people at the Hands Off rally yesterday. And I'll add my thanks to that. I think we had at least a dozen people in Anderson and at least half a dozen people, including a couple of people that went to both of them, like Kathy Crain here, and Rosellen, that went to both of them yesterday. So just grateful for the resistors, disruptors here in this congregation. And I'm not going to list all of the ones that were just in the book, but a stone for all of the different roles that each and every one of you play. Yes. And one final stone that are for all of the joys and concerns that remain quiet and tender upon our heart this morning. Thank you, Kathy. And now, for any of the children and RE teachers that we have with us today, we invite you to sing the children out with Go Now in Peace. Oh. Thank you. Yes. One of the speakers that I had the joy of hearing this past week while I was at Soul Summit in Atlanta was the words of Reverend Lisa Garcia Sampson. And she spoke so powerfully. And then I found a prayer from her that felt like it was appropriate to share with you all today. So I invite you to join me in a spirit of prayer and meditation, maybe settling into your seat or closing your eyes, whatever is most comfortable for you. Spirit of life and love, Spirit that lives within us and between us and among us right now, within this beloved community and in our work for collective liberation. May we continue to weave the web of trust and care to keep our bodies safe. And more than that, may our bodies be the site of healing, joy, and freedom. May we refuse to let our spirits be depleted and hardened by forces of hate. Instead, may open ourselves to be nourished and transformed by the movement for justice, knowing that our collective story is not what we are fighting against, but what we are fighting for. For ours is the work of creation. Ours is the work of inviting people into an irresistible movement, rooted in our belief that a new world is possible. And the center of our work is love and joy and the spirit of abundance. These are the things that we are fighting for. And these are the things we are fighting with. May we know deep in our bones that this is the call of our faith. Amen, and blessed be. I invite you to stay in your seats with the spirit of meditation continuing. We're going to do number 1009, the meditation on breathing, which y'all should be pretty familiar with, but the words will be up on the screens.
looking for joy in tough times. The past few years have been challenging times. Several of our dear friends and family members have died. The rest of us endured and survived a pandemic. We've been managing emotions that come along with social, political, and personal conflict, locally, nationally, internationally. I found the JED Foundation online. That's J-E-D, JED Foundation, where I've been reading about the power of joy in difficult times. How can we make time for joy? But the fact is, finding joy is one of the most powerful ways that we can survive and even thrive in these times. Is anybody feeling fear right now? Yeah. This is certainly a normal response to these extraordinary times, making pursuing joy a little bit difficult. It's harder now to take care of our mental health. We have a son in Atlanta. He was checking in with us the other evening. I shared with him that I find myself pondering the state of today's affairs at least 2 hours daily. And actually, I think I underestimated that daily brooding. I'm learning that we can get some of the benefits of joy even when I don't feel very joyful. Here is an interesting fact. Our bodies don't know the difference between a fake smile and a real smile. Research found that persons making a fake smile, can you picture that? Getting popsicle sticks in your mouth and holding it up? Persons with a fake smile had lower heart rates, indicating being less stressed during stressful moments. It has been proven that if you look at something uplifting or funny, it can have an immediate positive benefit, even if you are not in the mood for humor. Actively seeking out positive emotions really helps. Making time for joy is totally possible, even in these hard times. Let me close with the words from Maya Angelou. We need joy as we need air. We need love as we need water. We need each other as we need the earth we share. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. We have a video that will be Joy and Resistance by the Resistance Revival Choir, and it's a live performance, so in case the sound quality is iffy, some of you may have been given the option for a sheet of paper that has the lyrics on it. And it doesn't mean you have to sing along. I mean, if you want to, you can. But I just wanted to make sure everybody knew what the lyrics were, just in case there was any difficulty hearing the video.
What the world needs now is joy and resistance. We will fight the good fight with or without your assistance. Move out of the way if you can't support the mission. What the world needs now is joy. Sing about that love. Is love. We will fight the good fight. The because we need love, yeah. Sing about that faith. We will fight the good fight. With or without your resistance. Won't you move out of the way? If you can't support the mission, what the world needs now is faith in resistance. Oh, sing about peace now. Is peace in resistance. We will fight the good fight. The good fight. With or without your resistance. Move on out of the way. Said if you can support the mission. Oh, we need that peace. Is peace in resistance. Sing about that joy. We will fight the good fight. With or without your resistance. Move on out of the way. Say if you can. Because of what the world needs now is joy. One more time for joy. What the world needs now is joy in resistance. We will fight the good fight. With or without your resistance. Move out of the way. If you can't support the mission, what the world needs now is joy in resistance.
There was a different video that was kind of just the still of their album cover, and it just didn't do the same thing as seeing them sing it. Beloveds, we are in challenging times. We are in heartbreaking times. Has anybody here had a sense of feeling overwhelmed? Feeling like you can't do enough? It's not easy to exist within pain and overwhelm on an ongoing basis. So I want us to think about how joy can and is an act of resistance. There's a writer, Austin Channing Brown, who said the following. The poet Toye Colette, I looked up how to say the name, and now I can't remember. I'm sorry. Revolutionized Black feminism with one line in a poem. Joy is an act of resistance. With that one line, she gave Black women the opportunity to rethink the work of racial justice. Finally, we were given permission not to just be mules for the work of racial justice, carrying a kicking and screaming country into a better future. We were given permission to also see our joy as giving the middle finger to white supremacy. And when we stop to think about this one beautiful sentence, it unlocks a world of truthfulness, end quote. Now, who here has read anything by Alice Walker or is familiar with one of her more famous pieces, The Color Purple? Maybe you've watched one of the movies based on that. So she's got a lot of other works and writings, but in one of them she says resistance is the secret of joy. There is so much joy in the act of resistance. And this past week, as I mentioned, I got the chance to attend the Soul Summit in Atlanta, which was their second annual event. I got to attend workshops and listen to worship. As a minister, that's a pretty nice treat to be able to attend worship that somebody else is completely responsible for. And in in all of those worship services, I found myself inspired and rejuvenated. But there's some words that I want to share with you today from the Reverend Jake Morrill. And he spoke very passionately about this idea of joy. And he said, how do we get from pain to joy? How do we get from pain to joy? The joy that we hope for in the world that we are working for. His answer was the only way that we can get to joy from pain is by way of joy. That we have to have joy, whether it's an act of resistance or just joy at all of the different things that can go on in our lives, that we have to be able to have some hope. And joy is one way of continuing to give ourselves and one another the hope that we need to get through challenging times that we are in and that are ahead of us. There are some days that I have to work really hard to not be all doom and gloom and to not bring that up here with me. Because I don't think y'all need the doom and gloom. Y'all have got enough of that, right? Yes. I think we've got enough of that in all of the other sources in the world around us. So I think what we need is a reminder that being in community, that working together, that showing up in all of the different ways that we do in our lives is part of an act of resistance. Yesterday, I was amazed at the number of people that showed up in Anderson. Kathy told me she saw a number of around 1,100 people that showed up in Anderson. Is that correct? Report. Yeah. And then about 350 in Seneca. Yeah.
I loved it that in Anderson we were standing under the Confederate memorial.
Yes, there was a Confederate memorial in Anderson in the courthouse stairs. I don't know who it was of, but there was a bronze figure out on the grounds as well, and people had put signs on the figure like he was holding them as well, which I just thought was wonderful. That there were that many people that showed up in our smaller towns, and knowing and seeing the pictures of the sea of people in large cities across the country, knowing that we were not the only ones that were showing up and saying, this is not okay. We're not going to continue to put up with this. We can't. Now, each time we do that, it makes a statement. How big a difference it makes in that particular moment to our elected officials that seem bent on ignoring us. But there's still a positive effect for those of us that are feeling these things that we're feeling to show up in spaces like that. There is, beyond the disruptors, those that show up in these public witness ways, there are all of these other ways in which we get to embody joy. Whether it is sharing a meal with someone, writing a book, or taking a group out on a hula hike, or working towards an auction, working on the solar panel project, and I heard that some of y'all are pretty good liars. And to clarify that, for anybody that didn't know what was going on, last Saturday, while I was in Atlanta, a group of y'all were gathering here to play a game as part of a fundraiser called To Tell the Truth, in which some people told lies while other people were telling the truth, and people had to guess who was telling the truth. So some of y'all are really great storytellers or liars to participate in that game. But continuing to do activities like that, to find joy together, going and taking a walk in the botanical gardens, playing with your furry beloveds, whether cats or dogs or other animals, helping save wildlife, singing with the choir, playing music. There are so many ways. Those of you that bring hospitality, that serve as ushers. It's such a wonderful thing to have someone that greets you when you come into a space. No matter how known, how long you've been coming to a place, to see a friendly face, to know that you are welcome here is such a gift. There's a lot more about joy, and as I was putting on my socks this morning, I thought of something else to say. And I don't know how y'all will be able to see my socks or not, but it says, I love the doctor, and has 2 hearts because the doctor on Doctor Who has 2 hearts. So the reason why this came to mind is thinking about joy. I don't want to give spoilers, but the new doctor, Chutigawa, who is a black queer man playing the doctor, after a situation which the doctor decided he needed to let some of the weight of his past regenerations off his shoulders. And there is a scene in one of the early episodes with him. He's wearing a tank top and a kilt and is at a dance club and is just spinning around to the music. And it is so joyful, especially considering all of the things the doctor has gone through with all of the regenerations for anybody that's watched at any point over the years. It's been going on for over 60, 70 years now. Seeing that joy, just to be, even when we go through hard things, to find those pieces that, whether it's going to a concert or a symphony, which is where Martha Alexander is going after service today, which is why she's not here in person. And she finds so much joy in that. I have some really good playlists on my phone, and I've had some people that have shared music with me as well. But a couple of my playlists are like just really upbeat music or spiritual music, and they help me when I'm feeling that overwhelm. They help me move into a place of joy, that fake smile that becomes a real smile, that finding our place in our community offers. A few years ago, while I was in seminary, I had to take part in what's called clinical pastoral education, which is basically being a student chaplain in a hospital. I was the only queer, non-binary, although I wasn't fully out as non-binary back in those days. But I was the only one that would have been seen as female in the group. Most of my male classmates were much more conservative religious traditions. And I spent the first several weeks not being who I am. We all kind of talked about our partners, our significant others sometimes. And has anybody here, especially anybody that has dated people of the same gender, been careful about what pronouns you use? So I spent some time doing that, and then we were talking about caring for a queer young person who was there at the Children's Hospital. And I realized that this could be a learning opportunity for them and that I was keeping part of myself back. So I decided to share. And I also shared a story to give context. At the time, with my partner, I had to think about where I was when I was walking outside in public places as to whether it felt safe to do something as simple as holding their hand. And that really struck a chord with these classmates. One of the guys said, "I can't believe that. I've never had to think about something like holding my wife's hand in public." And another guy from the class shared that he was in a biracial marriage, and that in the rural areas in Ohio that he served, that wasn't something he necessarily shared. But my sharing allowed him to feel more comfortable in sharing his reality. And then I realized that also not just being myself was an act of resistance, but whether I decided to hold my partner's hand and finding joy in that, the joy of that is an act of resistance. Since then, there have been campaigns online and friends and people that I know in the queer community that saying queer joy, queer love is an act of resistance. And I have to tell you, being in upstate South Carolina as a queer non-binary person right now is definitely an act of resistance. Y'all having me as your minister is kind of an act of resistance on your part. There are so many ways that we can find joy. How many of you have been somewhere, maybe out in public, and seen a cute animal or a cute baby that is just doing something where they are living their best lives and doing the cutest things? So another thing that I do, and maybe some of you do, is if I'm having a hard day, I go find videos of such things online until it makes me smile and helps me move beyond the overwhelm that I am feeling. And if you haven't ever done that, I highly recommend it. We have to find joy wherever we can because it is an act of resistance. Joy is deeper than momentary happiness. It is more abiding. Bell Hooks is known for speaking about this radical notion of love. Not the romantic or sentimental love, but active and justice-seeking. That love and joy as an extension of it helps sustain us in the face of hardship. Sometimes that means pushing back against the status quo, because how easy would it just be to sit back and accept things the way they are and not have to keep working at something. But for us to be our authentic selves, we have to be willing to do the hard work. But, well, and. I like and better. We have to take breaks. We have to find joy. Because if we don't, we'll wear ourselves out. And I need you to survive. I need us to survive. I need our beloveds and our wider communities to survive during this time. So we have to keep working on it, and we have to keep finding joy and love and faith in that resistance. There's a quote that I would like to share with you from Adrienne Marie Brown. Quote, "True pleasure, joy, happiness, and satisfaction has been a force that helps us move beyond constant struggle, that helps us live and generate futures beyond this dystopic present. Futures worthy of miraculous lives. Pleasure, embodied, connected pleasure, is one of the ways that we know we are free, that we are always free, that we always have the power to co-create the world. Pleasure helps us move through the times that are unfamiliar, that are unfair, through grief and loneliness, through terror of genocide, or days when the demands are just overwhelming. Pleasure heals the places where our hearts and our spirits get wounded. Pleasure reminds us that even in the dark, we are alive." End quote. We as a faith center our values around a liberating love. And without love at the center of our work towards justice, equity, wouldn't be possible for transformation. We have to recognize our interdependence and generosity of spirit. We have to know that we are connected by something deeper and abiding within us and beyond us in our faith. We have to work towards beloved community where we can have hope and love and joy as a commitment to one another, that it's not just a fleeting flash in the pan, but that it is transformative. May we continue to find joy together. May we continue to find joy in resistance and create a transformative love. May we find peace. May it be so. May we make it so, and blessed be. For our closing hymn, I invite you to rise in body, mind, or spirit wherever you are to sing number 100, "I've Got Peace Like a River." We're going to do 3 verses of that. Thank you. We were just going to keep going. I was thinking about going, all right, everybody do verse 1 again. But music is wonderful to get carried away with, isn't it? Yes. Yes. I hope that you find some joy today when you leave this place and the sanctuary, the social hall. As you go about your week ahead, may you find joy, joy that keeps you going, that provides hope. May you go in peace and return in love.